Have you ever felt like life is a constant struggle, filled with stress and uncertainty? What if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that could completely change how you see the world and yourself? It's not about complicated techniques or secret rituals. It's about making simple yet powerful decisions that can transform your entire life. This is the wisdom of Stoicism, and it's more relevant today than ever before. Stoicism isn't just a bunch of old ideas from dusty history books. It's a practical, living philosophy that can give you incredible strength and peace of mind, even in the craziest of times. Imagine being able to stay calm when everyone else is panicking, or finding opportunity where others only see problems. That's the power of Stoic thinking. But here's the thing. This transformation doesn't happen by magic. It's not about doing specific actions or following a set of rules. It's about changing how you think, how you see yourself, and how you understand the world around you. It's about making decisions every single day that align with Stoic principles. And when you do that, something amazing happens. You start to see changes not just in your mind, but in your life as well. Let's be real for a moment. If you don't start applying these Stoic ideas to your life, there's a good chance you'll keep feeling stuck. You might keep reacting to life's challenges the same way you always have, feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or unhappy. You might keep chasing after things that don't really matter, or letting your emotions control you instead of the other way around. But if you decide to embrace these Stoic principles, you're opening the door to a whole new way of living. You can find a sense of peace and inner strength that stays with you, no matter what life throws your way. Imagine being able to face any challenge with a clear mind and a steady heart. Imagine being able to find joy and meaning in the simplest things, instead of always chasing after the next big thing. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't always easy. Changing how you think and react to the world takes time and practice. There will be days when it feels hard, when your old habits try to take over. But here's the amazing thing. Even the struggle itself becomes valuable when you look at it through a Stoic lens. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. Today, we're going to dive deep into 10 Stoic decisions that have the power to completely transform your life. These aren't just ideas to think about or agree with. They're choices you can make every single day, choices that will slowly but surely reshape how you experience life. Each of these decisions is like a key, unlocking a different aspect of Stoic wisdom. Some might resonate with you right away, while others might challenge you. That's okay. The beauty of Stoicism is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about consistently trying to be a little bit better, a little bit wiser than you were yesterday. As we go through these decisions, I want you to really think about how they could apply to your life. Don't just listen passively. Ask yourself, how could this change how I react to problems? How could this help me find more peace or happiness? How could this make me stronger or more resilient? Remember, Stoicism isn't about denying your feelings or becoming cold and unfeeling. It's about understanding your emotions, mastering them, and using them wisely. It's about finding a deep, unshakable sense of purpose and contentment that goes beyond the ups and downs of daily life. So are you ready to discover these life-changing Stoic decisions? Are you ready to start seeing the world in a new way? Let's begin with the first and perhaps most fundamental Stoic decision: focusing on what you can control. Imagine you're stuck in terrible traffic. You're going to be late for an important meeting, and you can feel your stress levels rising. Your mind is racing, thinking about all the consequences of being late, getting angry at the other drivers, wishing you'd left earlier. But here's the thing: none of that mental activity is actually helping you. You can't make the traffic move faster. You can't turn back time and leave earlier. So what can you do? This is where the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control comes in. It's a simple idea, but it has the power to completely change how you react to situations like this. The Stoics believed that the key to peace of mind and effective action is to clearly distinguish between what's in our control and what isn't. So, in our traffic example, what can you control? You can control your reaction to the situation. You can choose to take a deep breath and calm yourself down. You can decide to call ahead and let someone know you'll be late. You can use the time to listen to an audiobook or podcast, turning a frustrating delay into a learning opportunity. You can even reflect on whether there are changes you could make to avoid this situation in the future. What you can't control is the traffic itself, the actions of other drivers, or the fact that you're going to be late. Recognizing this isn't about giving up or not caring. It's about directing your energy and attention where it can actually make a difference. This principle applies to so much more than just traffic jams. Think about your relationships. You can't control how other people act or feel, but you can control how you treat them and respond to them. You can't control whether you get a particular job, but you can control how well you prepare for the interview. You can't control whether you get sick, but you can control how well you take care of your health. Practicing this principle doesn't mean you become passive or stop trying to influence things around you. Instead, it means you become much more effective because you're not wasting energy on things you can't change. You become more resilient because you're not tying your happiness to things outside your control. It's also important to understand that this principle includes your own thoughts and attitudes. While we can't always control our initial reactions or feelings, we can control how we respond to them. We can choose which thoughts to focus on and which to let go. We can decide what meaning we give to events in our lives. Implementing this principle takes practice. Start by paying attention to your thoughts throughout the day. When you feel stressed or upset, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If it isn't, consciously decide to let it go and refocus on what you can control. If it is something you can influence, think about the most effective way to do so. Over time, you'll likely notice a significant shift in your mindset. Problems that used to seem overwhelming start to look more manageable. You'll find yourself feeling calmer and more in control, even when facing difficult situations. You'll waste less time and energy on worry and frustration, and have more to devote to actually improving your life. This Stoic decision to focus on what you can control is the foundation for many of the other principles we'll discuss. It's about taking responsibility for your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes while accepting the reality of the world around you. It's a powerful tool for reducing stress, increasing effectiveness, and finding a sense of peace amidst life's chaos. In our modern world, it's easy to get caught up in always wanting more. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us we need the latest gadget, a bigger house, a better job, or a perfect relationship to be happy. But the Stoics understood a profound truth. True contentment comes not from having everything we want, but from appreciating what we already have. This is where the practice of gratitude comes in. The Stoics believed that being thankful for what we have is key to living a good life. It's not just about feeling good, although that's certainly a benefit. Practicing gratitude actually changes how we see the world and how we experience our lives. So, what does it mean to practice gratitude? It's more than just saying thank you when someone does something nice for you, although that's important too. It's about actively looking for things to be grateful for, even in difficult situations. It's about training your mind to see the good in your life, rather than always focusing on what's missing or what's wrong. Here's a simple way to start. Each day, try to find 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for the warm sun on your face, or for the delicious cup of coffee you had this morning. Maybe you're grateful for a friend who always makes you laugh, or for the fact that you have a roof over your head. The key is to really feel the gratitude, not just think about it. When you first start this practice, it might feel a bit forced or artificial. That's okay. Like any skill, gratitude gets easier with practice. Over time, you'll likely find that you start noticing things to be grateful for throughout your day without even trying. But why is this so powerful? First, practicing gratitude helps shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This can lead to a greater sense of abundance and contentment in our lives. Instead of always chasing after the next thing, we learn to appreciate what's already here. Gratitude also helps put our problems in perspective. When we're going through a tough time, it's easy to feel like everything is terrible. But when we make an effort to find things to be grateful for, even in difficult situations, it reminds us that good things still exist in our lives. This can help us maintain a more balanced outlook and stay resilient in the face of challenges. Moreover, gratitude can improve our relationships. When we regularly express appreciation for the people in our lives, it strengthens our connections with them. It makes others feel valued and recognized, which in turn can lead to more positive interactions and deeper relationships. Practicing gratitude can even have physical benefits. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude tend to have better sleep, stronger immune systems, and lower levels of stress hormones. It's a simple practice that can have far-reaching effects on our overall well-being. But here's an important point. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. The Stoics weren't about denying reality. Instead, it's about recognizing that even in imperfect situations, there are still things to be thankful for. It's about finding the good without denying the bad. For example, if you're dealing with a health issue, you might feel grateful for the medical care you're receiving, or for the support of your family and friends. If you're facing a challenge at work, you might feel grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow from the experience. As you make gratitude a regular part of your life, you might start to notice some changes. You might find yourself complaining less and appreciating more. You might start to see opportunities where you once saw only obstacles. You might even find that your overall mood improves and that you're better able to handle stress and setbacks. Remember, like all Stoic practices, gratitude is something to be cultivated over time. Don't worry if you don't feel overwhelmingly grateful right away. The important thing is to make it a regular practice. Over time, it can profoundly change how you experience your life. So why not start right now? Take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for today. They can be big or small, profound or simple. The act of looking for things to be grateful for is itself a step towards a more stoic, more contented way of living. The only constant in life is change. This idea, often attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, was a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics understood a fundamental truth about the universe. Everything is always changing. Nothing stays the same forever. And this realization, when truly internalized, has the power to transform how we approach life. Think about it for a moment. Your body is constantly changing, with cells dying and being replaced every second. Your thoughts and feelings are in constant flux. The world around you is always shifting, from the weather to the political landscape to technological advancements. Even the seemingly solid ground beneath your feet is moving as the earth rotates and orbits the sun. Yet, despite this reality, we often resist change. We cling to how things are or how we think they should be. We get upset when our plans don't work out, when relationships end, when we face unexpected challenges. We often treat change as an enemy, something to be fought against or avoided. But what if we could learn to accept change, even embrace it? This is what the Stoics advocated. They believed that by accepting the ever-changing nature of reality, we could find a deeper sense of peace and resilience. So how can we put this into practice? The first step is simply to start noticing change. Pay attention to how things are always shifting, both in your inner world and in the world around you. Notice how your mood changes throughout the day, how the sky looks different from moment to moment, how your relationships evolve over time. As you become more aware of change, try to cultivate an attitude of acceptance towards it. This doesn't mean you have to like every change that happens. It simply means acknowledging that change is a natural part of life, not something to be resisted or feared. When you face a change that feels difficult or unwelcome, remind yourself that this too is part of the natural flow of life. Instead of fighting against it, ask yourself, how can I adapt to this change? What opportunities might it bring? What can I learn from this? This attitude can be particularly powerful when dealing with loss or disappointment. Instead of getting stuck in wishing things were different, we can acknowledge our feelings while also recognizing that change is inevitable. This can help us move forward more easily and find new possibilities in changed circumstances. Accepting change also means being willing to let go. We often cause ourselves suffering by holding on to things that are already changing or gone: a past relationship, a former job, our youth. The Stoic approach is to appreciate these things while we have them, but to be ready to let them go when the time comes. This doesn't mean becoming detached or not caring about anything. Instead, it's about finding a balance between engaging fully with life and being able to adapt when things change. It's about enjoying the present moment without trying to freeze it in place forever. Embracing change can also make us more open to growth and new experiences. When we're not afraid of change, we're more likely to take risks, try new things, and push ourselves out of our comfort zones. We become more flexible and adaptable, better able to navigate the ups and downs of life. Moreover, accepting change can help us appreciate the present moment more fully. When we truly understand that nothing lasts forever, we can value our experiences, relationships, and possessions more deeply while we have them. Instead of taking things for granted, we can cultivate a sense of gratitude for what is here now, knowing it won't always be the same. This Stoic principle can even change how we view ourselves. Instead of trying to maintain a fixed identity, we can see ourselves as constantly evolving. This can be liberating. It means we're not stuck being who we were yesterday. We can always learn, grow, and become better versions of ourselves. Practicing this principle takes time and patience. Our instinct to resist change is deeply ingrained. Start small, perhaps by noticing and accepting minor changes in your daily routine. Gradually work up to accepting bigger changes. When you find yourself resisting change, gently remind yourself of the Stoic perspective. Remember, accepting that change is constant doesn't mean being passive. We can still work towards goals and try to influence things for the better. The difference is that we do so with an understanding of the fluid nature of reality, ready to adapt when circumstances shift. By making the decision to accept change as a constant in life, we free ourselves from a lot of unnecessary suffering. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and more at peace with the natural flow of life. It's a powerful shift in perspective that can help us navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in thoughts about the past or worries about the future. We often find ourselves replaying old conversations in our heads, regretting past actions, or anxiously planning for what might happen tomorrow. But the Stoics understood a profound truth. The only moment we can truly live in is the present. This idea of living in the present moment is central to Stoic philosophy. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This power lies in our ability to focus on the here and now. But what does it mean to live in the present moment? It's about fully engaging with what's happening right now, rather than getting lost in thoughts about the past or future. It's about paying attention to your current experiences, thoughts, and feelings without judgment. Think about it this way. The past is already gone, and we can't change it no matter how much we dwell on it. The future hasn't arrived yet, and despite our best efforts to plan, we can't predict exactly what will happen. The only time we can actually do anything, experience anything, or make any choices is right now, in this present moment. Practicing presence doesn't mean you never think about the past or plan for the future. It's about finding a balance. We can learn from the past and prepare for the future, but we shouldn't let those thoughts dominate our minds at the expense of experiencing the present. So how can we put this into practice? One simple way is to regularly check in with your senses. What can you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel right now? This simple act can quickly bring you back to the present moment when your mind has wandered. Another powerful technique is mindfulness meditation. This involves sitting quietly and focusing on your breath or bodily sensations, gently bringing your attention back whenever your mind wanders. Even a few minutes of this practice each day can help train your mind to stay more present. You can also practice presence during everyday activities. When you're eating, really taste your food. When you're walking, pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground. When you're talking with someone, really listen to what they're saying instead of thinking about what you'll say next. Living in the present moment can have profound effects on your life. It can reduce stress and anxiety as you're not constantly worrying about the future or regretting the past. It can improve your relationships as you're more fully engaged when interacting with others. It can even enhance your performance at work or in hobbies as you're more focused on the task at hand. Moreover, being present allows you to fully appreciate the good things in your life as they're happening. Instead of always chasing the next thing, you can find joy and contentment in what's here right now. Remember, like all Stoic practices, living in the present moment takes time and patience to master. Don't get frustrated if you find your mind wandering. That's completely normal. The key is to gently bring your attention back to the present whenever you notice it's drifted away. Life is full of challenges. We all face setbacks, obstacles, and difficulties. But what if these challenges weren't just things to be endured or overcome? What if they were actually opportunities for growth and learning? This is a key principle of Stoic philosophy, and it has the power to completely transform how we approach life's difficulties. The Stoics believe that it's not the events in our lives that determine our happiness, but how we perceive and respond to those events. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This doesn't mean pretending that difficult situations are pleasant. It's about choosing to see the potential for growth and learning in every challenge we face. It's about asking ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger or wiser? For example, let's say you lose your job. This is undoubtedly a difficult situation, but instead of just seeing it as a disaster, you could choose to view it as an opportunity. Maybe it's a chance to reassess your career path and find work that's more fulfilling. Maybe it's an opportunity to learn new skills or start the business you've always dreamed of. Maybe it's a push to build your resilience and problem-solving skills. Or consider a challenging relationship. Instead of just seeing it as a source of stress, you could view it as an opportunity to practice patience, improve your communication skills, or learn more about setting healthy boundaries. Even physical illness or injury, while certainly not desirable, can be viewed as an opportunity. It might be a chance to reassess your priorities, develop mental strength, or cultivate gratitude for the health you usually enjoy. This shift in perspective doesn't make challenges easy, but it can make them meaningful. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you become an active participant in your own growth and development. Practicing this principle involves consciously reframing how you think about difficulties. When you face a challenge, try asking yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How might this help me grow or become stronger? What skills or qualities can I develop by facing this challenge? How might this difficulty be preparing me for future opportunities? It's also helpful to look back on past challenges you've overcome. What did you learn from those experiences? How did they help you grow? Recognizing the growth that came from past difficulties can help you approach current challenges with a more positive mindset. Remember, viewing challenges as opportunities doesn't mean you have to be happy about difficult situations. It's okay to acknowledge that something is hard or painful. The key is to also look for the potential growth or learning within that difficulty. This Stoic principle can lead to greater resilience and a more positive outlook on life. Instead of being defeated by setbacks, you can see them as steps on your journey of personal growth. You become more adaptable and better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. Moreover, this mindset can help you take more risks and embrace new experiences. If you see challenges as opportunities for growth, you're less likely to be held back by fear of failure or difficulty. Adopting this perspective takes practice and patience. It's not always easy to see the opportunity in a challenging situation, especially when you're in the midst of it. Start small, perhaps by trying to find the learning opportunity in minor annoyances or setbacks. As you practice, you may find it becomes easier to apply this principle to bigger challenges. Self-discipline is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that true freedom comes not from being able to do whatever you want, but from having control over your own desires and actions. This idea is as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. In our modern world of instant gratification and constant distractions, self-discipline can seem old-fashioned or unnecessary. But the Stoics understood that without self-discipline, we become slaves to our impulses, our emotions, and our circumstances. So, what exactly is self-discipline? It's the ability to control your actions, thoughts, and emotions. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about staying true to your values and long-term goals, even in the face of short-term temptations. Self-discipline isn't about punishing yourself or denying all pleasure. The Stoics weren't against enjoying life. They simply believed in moderation and in aligning our actions with our values and goals. Practicing self-discipline can take many forms. It might mean sticking to a workout routine, even on days when you'd rather stay in bed. It could be choosing to save money instead of buying something you don't really need. It might involve controlling your temper in a frustrating situation, or staying focused on work when you're tempted to procrastinate. One powerful way to develop self-discipline is through small, daily practices. The Stoics often used techniques like voluntary discomfort to build their self-discipline. This might involve taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, or deliberately choosing the less comfortable option in small daily decisions. The idea is that by practicing self-control in these small ways, you build the strength to exercise self-discipline in more important areas of your life. Another key aspect of self-discipline is keeping your word to yourself. If you decide to do something, do it. This builds self-trust and integrity. Start with small commitments and gradually build up to bigger ones as you prove to yourself that you can follow through. It's also important to understand that self-discipline isn't about being perfect. Everyone has moments of weakness. The key is to keep trying to get back on track when you slip up, rather than giving up entirely. Practicing self-discipline can have profound effects on your life. It can help you achieve your goals as you're able to consistently take the actions needed to succeed. It can improve your health as you're better able to stick to healthy habits. It can enhance your relationships as you're able to control your reactions and keep your commitments. Moreover, self-discipline can lead to a greater sense of freedom and self-respect. When you know you have the power to control your actions and reactions, you're less at the mercy of external circumstances or internal impulses. Remember, like all Stoic practices, developing self-discipline is a journey. It takes time and consistent effort. Be patient with yourself Celebrate your successes and learn from your setbacks. Over time, you may find that this Stoic principle becomes a powerful tool for shaping the life you want to live. The Stoics believed that self-reflection was crucial for personal growth and living a virtuous life. One of their key practices was to take time each day to review their actions, thoughts, and decisions. This practice of daily reflection is just as valuable today as it was in ancient times. Reflecting on your day isn't about beating yourself up over mistakes or patting yourself on the back for successes. It's about honestly examining your actions and reactions, learning from them, and considering how you might improve. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, described his nightly reflection routine. When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by. To practice this, set aside a few minutes each evening to think about your day. Ask yourself questions like, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short of my ideals? How could I have handled challenging situations better? Did I act in accordance with my values? What did I learn today? It can be helpful to write down your reflections in a journal. This not only helps you process your thoughts, but also allows you to look back and see patterns or progress over time. The goal of this reflection isn't to judge yourself harshly, but to learn and grow. When you identify areas for improvement, think about specific actions you can take to do better next time. This practice of daily reflection can lead to greater self-awareness and continuous personal growth. It helps you recognize your strengths and weaknesses, reinforce positive habits, and correct negative ones. Over time, you may find that you become more mindful of your actions throughout the day, knowing you'll be reflecting on them later. Remember, the point isn't to strive for perfection, but for progress. Even small improvements made consistently over time can lead to significant personal growth. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. These words from Marcus Aurelius encapsulate a core Stoic principle: remembering our mortality. At first glance, thinking about death might seem morbid or depressing, but the Stoics saw it differently. They believed that regularly contemplating our mortality could actually lead to a more meaningful and well-lived life. When we remember that our time is limited, it can help us prioritize what's truly important. It can motivate us to make the most of each day, to pursue our goals with urgency, and to appreciate the people and experiences in our lives. Practicing this principle doesn't mean obsessing over death or living in fear. It's about using the awareness of our mortality as a tool to enhance our life. Here are some ways to incorporate this Stoic practice. Periodically ask yourself, if this was my last day, would I be satisfied with how I'm spending it? Use the thought of mortality to put problems in perspective. Will this issue matter in a year, in 5 years, at the end of your life? Let the awareness of life's finite nature motivate you to pursue your goals and dreams now, rather than putting them off. Use it as a reminder to express your love and appreciation for the people in your life. Let it inspire you to create a legacy, to do work or engage in activities that will have a positive impact beyond your own lifetime. Remembering our mortality can help us live more fully in the present, make better decisions, and focus on what truly matters. It's a powerful tool for cutting through the trivial concerns that often preoccupy us and reconnecting with our core values and priorities. In our information age, we're constantly bombarded with data, news, and trivia. But the Stoics understood that information alone isn't enough. What we need is wisdom. Wisdom is about understanding how to apply knowledge in a way that leads to a better life. Epictetus said, "Don't just say you have read books. Show that through them you have learned to think better, to be a more discriminating and reflective person." Books are the training weights of the mind. They are very helpful, but it would be a bad mistake to suppose that one has made progress simply by having internalized their contents. To practice this Stoic principle, when you learn something new, ask yourself, how can I apply this to improve my life or the lives of others? Seek out not just facts, but understanding. Ask why and how questions. Reflect on your experiences and try to extract lessons from them. Read widely, but also deeply. Take time to really think about and discuss what you've read. Look for wisdom in unexpected places. Every experience and person you encounter can teach you something. Practice applying what you learn. Wisdom comes from experience, not just knowledge. By seeking wisdom rather than just accumulating information, you can develop better judgment, make wiser decisions, and live a more meaningful life. The Stoics believed that living a good life meant cultivating virtues, qualities like wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. They saw these virtues not as abstract ideals, but as practical skills to be developed through daily practice. Choose a virtue to focus on each week or month. Look for opportunities to practice that virtue in your daily life. Reflect on how you embodied or failed to embody that virtue each day. Learn from role models who exemplify the virtues you want to develop. Remember that cultivating virtues is a lifelong process. It's about progress, not perfection. By consciously working to develop these qualities, you can become a better version of yourself and contribute more positively to the world around you. These 10 Stoic decisions have the power to profoundly change your life. They offer a path to greater resilience, peace of mind, and personal growth. Remember, Stoicism isn't about denying your emotions or becoming cold and unfeeling. It's about understanding yourself better, mastering your reactions to the world around you, and living in alignment with your highest values. Implementing these principles takes time and practice. Don't try to change everything at once. Start with 1 or 2 decisions that resonate most with you and gradually incorporate the others. Be patient with yourself and remember that it's about progress, not perfection. As you begin to apply these Stoic principles in your life, you may find that you become more resilient in the face of challenges, more at peace with yourself and the world around you, and more capable of creating the life you truly want to live. The beauty of Stoicism is that it's not just a philosophy to think about, it's a way of living. By making these decisions part of your daily life, you're not just learning about Stoicism, you're embodying it. You're becoming, in essence, your own Stoic philosopher. So, which of these Stoic decisions will you start with? How might your life change if you fully embrace these principles? The power to transform your life is in your hands. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Remember, Every moment is an opportunity to make these Stoic decisions. Every challenge is a chance to practice these principles. Your journey towards a more Stoic life begins now, with the very next choice you make.